You're watching the Reno4 Pro 5G disassembly. Let's go ahead and remove that SIM tray. Next, we need to heat the backplate up using a hairdryer or a heat gun so we can loosen up the adhesive underneath. And then we're going to use a plastic pry tool to pry the backplate off. So here's the backplate, and it is glass, so you can't really bend it. On the lower part of the backplate, there's some graphite film that sits over the speaker assembly, which helps transfer heat from the speaker assembly. There are 18 Phillips screws which need to be removed. Once the screws are removed, we can lift up and remove the top cover. So here you have some graphite film which sits over the battery and helps transfer heat. You have your NFC antenna right here. Your LED flash is located right there. You also have some antenna lines running through this plastic piece. And here's the other side. You can see there's some more graphite film over here which sits on top of the motherboard. First we need to disconnect the battery cable. And then we can go ahead and disconnect the rest of the cables. We have some copper tape over here which needs to be peeled off, which is covering the connector for the camera, as well as some over here which is sitting on top of the earpiece speaker. We also have two wire cables we need to pop off. There's one Phillips screw over here holding down the main board. Let's go ahead and remove that. Now we can go ahead and lift up and remove the main board. So here's a better look at your main board. You have your cameras here, you have your sensors right there. You have a secondary mic located over here on top. You also have some copper tape over the shields. Peeling back the copper tape reveals thermal pads underneath on top of the chips. And if you want to disconnect the cameras, you just have to pop off the connectors. And then you can lift them up and remove them. So your cameras are sitting in this metal assembly or enclosure. On the back they have some copper tape. Here's the back side of the main board. You have your proximity sensor located here. You have more copper tape over here and over here over the shields, as well as a lot of thermal paste. Peeling back the copper tape reveals more thermal paste on top of the processor, as well as some thermal pads on top of the rest of the chips. So going back to the mid frame, you have a lot more thermal paste sitting over here on top of a copper plate. In my opinion, I think they used way too much thermal paste. Now let's remove this cover over here. Now we need to disconnect these flex cables. And this one's going to be your screen flex cable. Now let's lift up the subboard over here. There's still a wire cable attached underneath. Let me pop it off. Here's a better look at that. You have a rubber gasket around this connector over here. Your primary microphone is located right here. You have your SIM reader on the other side. Now let's go ahead and remove the speaker assembly. We have to peel off this small flex cable over here. And then we need to lift up this wire. Move it from the socket. There's adhesive underneath the speaker assembly, so we're going to have to gently pry it off. Here's your speaker assembly. Here's the other side. Now moving on to the dual batteries. In order to remove them, we're going to have to apply some heat on the front side of the phone where the screen is, so we can loosen up the adhesive underneath. And then we're going to use these two pull tabs to pry the batteries off. So here are your batteries. Here's the other side. And as you can see, there's two of them. You have two flex cables running underneath the battery. You have this one which connects your charger port to your main board. You also have this flex cable over here which connects your main board to your subboard on the bottom. Once we pull this plastic tape back, there's a rubber gasket over here we have to peel off. So we can lift up and peel off this flex cable for the charger port. So here's your charger port. You have a red gasket around it. Here's the other side. So at this point, you left with your mid frame, your vibrator motor over here, your earpiece speaker up here. You have the flex cable over here for your power button, as well as the flex cable over here on this side for your volume keys. And if you need to replace the screen, you'd have to heat the front of the phone up where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath it. And then you'd pry your screen off, making sure you run your cable over here for your screen through the mid frame. And then you get your new screen, apply new adhesive and reapply your new screen over, making sure you run your cable back through the slit over here in the mid frame, and then you'd reassemble your phone. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put the phone back together. Once you have all your screws back in place, apply new adhesive and reapply your back plate. Flip over your phone, power it on, and you're done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.